Okay, so we were sent a VOD. This is currently... So we're looking at iddqdOW. This is going to be a Silver 2 DPS on Blizzard World. Thank you, iddqdOW, for providing us with the first VOD on the day. We are currently going to be spending some time looking at iddqdOW. Okay. Chat, if I don't say anything, it's I want to try and approach a different way of coaching today. Nice shot. A lot of the time when I review people, right, I feel like I always point out the negatives and things that you can do better, but sometimes I also want to take a moment and discuss the good things that you do. I like the fact that you took high ground. We've talked extensively about high ground usage. High ground is OP, right? It doesn't matter what character you play, it's always going to be good. So I think that this is much, much better. Taking the high ground approach, waiting for the soldier and seeing the soldier and lining up the shot. But I will say something. iddqdOW, you are doing something that I pointed out yesterday that our one of our soldier players was doing as well, is that when we line up a big shot, we kind of go for the little flick, right? We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. Chat, are you paying attention to this?
I don't know what's going on.
In lower ranks, right, chat? Have we not talked about this extensively? What do we call that phenomenon? We call it stressing shots. When a shot matters and you really want to hit the headshot, we go for that little flick on the end to maybe we can hit it, right? Maybe we can flick it to a point where we get the little headshot and it looks better. Now, flicking isn't inherently bad. Don't get me wrong, iddqdOW. If you hit your shots and you hit your flicks, it's good. But, there are ways that we can consistently hit these shots and they will probably result in more kills overall. So chat, I want you guys to do me a reminder. After this game is over, I want you guys to bring up to me straight away after this game is over and tell me to show the technique again. The aim DPS technique for stressing shots. Okay? I mean, we're completely uncontested up here. Gonna point this out immediately. Even if you get the kill on the soldier in here, iddqdOW, we do not want to do this. We do not want to do this at all, okay? The reason why is because the higher rank you go, you're gonna get absolutely punished for this. When you have such a god tier spot and you're up there by that ceiling and you have full control, the only thing you're doing here is that if you don't hit your shot, you could risk dying. And dying here could actually risk your team losing the point. So we want to be as good as we can be, right? You probably noticed this 100 times. If I play Blizzard World and I have high ground control, I don't play over here. The only reason I would ever play over here is if my tank is here. Other than that, the aggressive positioning usually never plays off. I would either stay here or I would actually move up on here. And I think this is just way more safer. You have the same sort of control over where you're looking, but you're not playing up in their face. Like, for example, if you're playing against a Winston, or maybe playing against a Doomfist, or you're playing against, you know, I don't know, say a Genji, whatever, it's just good for the mindset to know that this aggressive peek usually never plays off. It did this time, and I congratulate you for that. It was a good shot. The fucking soldier got punished for moving in early. But I do think that playing over here is way better if you want to take a different angle, or you stay on high ground there. Don't ever do this aggressively, and don't use your cooldown without knowing what's around the corner. That's my biggest tip there. Now you can go up on high ground if you want to. You don't have to play on the cart. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna point out this. There's two ways you can play this point, and what you're doing right now is probably not the one that I would like you to do at all. Again, this might sound very nitpicky, but by playing up here, you have more control over what's going over there, right? If you play from this high ground, you can actually see not only the Baptiste, but you can also see the Winston, right? And if they want to charge at you here, you can actually jump down on low ground, and they're going to be stuck in a really bad position, right? So I would rather you do that instead. As a Widow player, we don't want to utilize the cart unless we very much necessary have to. If there's a big team fight going on behind the siege engine, I'm okay with you standing on the point. That's completely fine. But I don't want you to play, like, on the payload, per se. Instead, if you want to take this angle and you want to shoot at them, make it difficult for the enemy team to know where you're at, right? If you can line up a shot without having to shoot your gun and give away your position, by all means do that. Being unpredictable on Widow is what's going to get you the most kills. You have pretty decent aim. I mean, you're fucking killing people ego peeking you, which is a good thing. Also, what the fuck is going on here? Something happened here, dude. To reiterate what I was saying, I would rather you play up here and try and help your team what's going on here so you have a better view what's going on. Or I'd like you rather to play in front of the cart and something like this. I would rather you play around here. You have the same vision if you take a step to the right, but you have the protection, right? And if you're standing on cart like this, you can get punished. So just keep that in mind. I'd rather you play a little bit more safe here. Nice. Go down on the right side here. Look for a peek. It's good. Oh, there's Sojourn. Gotta be a little bit careful. Okay, now both of you know that you were looking at each other. Oh, yep. See? Kind of interesting, right? We pointed out that if you stand on the payload, you make yourself a better target. And Anna got lucky and killed you. It's we could have avoided that if you played a slightly more defensive position there. Chat, remember, streamer is right. Good angle. Nice. You take your time lining up the shots. Very, very nice, Deity. I like this. Careful. Nice. Nice angle. You kind of get what I'm saying. All of a sudden, we're playing from this angle, and they can't do anything to stop you. You're free farming. Now, I would... Okay, now this is going to sound really counterintuitive, but I'm going to bring this up to you right now so you know. If you have 2 picks like this, and you're already up, like the way you are right now, it is completely fine to take a more aggressive angle here. If you play up here, all you need to do is you want to put a Widow Mine around this door frame. Like, do it like right here with this rocket sticking out. We want to do it too close to the door frame, because if they just run past it, they're going to get hit by it, right? But the reason why we want to put a Widow Mine under this rock here is because if they do come out of this door and they're pushing forward, you're going to get alerted immediately that they are going for you, right? That means that we can grapple hook back up to the point, and we're going to be completely safe out of harm's way. So this is fine. If you wanted to do a more of aggressive peek right here, you could get away with this. As long as you put your Widow Mine first before you start shooting, and you go back to the position, reposition yourself in a more aggressive manner, this is completely fine. So try and keep that in mind. I know it sounds a little counterintuitive, but the difference is, you know, it's a little bit different in the team fight, but you kind of get what I'm trying to say. You're not safe from my all-seeing eye. IDD wink. Nice headshot. That Reinhardt is currently screaming at his team right now. They have a Junkrat, so we need to be very, very careful about our positioning, because we're going to get focused not only by the Cole, but by the Junkrat at the same time. Okay, that's a good kill. Now I would move. I would move away from here, actually. Okay, good. We're moving away. If Chad does one more people finger, I'm gonna lose it. I'm actually gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose my shit. And then no one gets cookies. No one. I'm taking...
I don't want to do this no more.
The fuck is happening, Daiti? Are you having a cookie in real life right now? What's going on? Nice shot. Mora's walking in a straight line. We saw that the Cole was walking underneath us, so we need to be careful. Yep. So, yeah, so this is what we talked about before, right, chat? And this is not BMing. We talked about this extensively like 3 days ago. But one of the few things that I see a lot of silver, gold, and plat players do, it isn't necessarily the fact that you can't aim. The aim is there. The aim is there as long as you're not getting pressured. If you get pressured, you start being a little bit wonky with your aim a little bit. And there are some tips and tricks how we can get you to aim a little bit better, Daiti, even though you're getting a lot of kills. But the biggest killer for all these 3 ranks that I just brought up is situational awareness, right? We heard the Cole go underneath you. We saw him go underneath you. He has not fired a single shot. And by going under you like that, there's either 2 things. He's flanking all the way around back to where your Moira is on screen right now, or he's going for you, right? We can hear those clunky boots. But the thing is, even though we didn't hear him now, he was crouching, we knew that he was underneath us. So we always need to reposition. And what better way to reposition? Well, he is wasting precious time trying to kill you, right? So by knowing that he's going underneath us and he's not doing any damage and we can't hear him, we should just fucking grapple hook over to the next higher ground and make him do the same fucking thing again. Not only are we wasting his time, during him doing this flank, he's completely wasting it and not helping his team at all, which puts you in a much better position to win that team fight. We're so laser focused on killing what's ahead of us that we don't really care what's behind us. And in most scenarios, if you get like 2 kills, okay. Fair enough. I mean, yeah, doing a 2v1 trade isn't necessarily a bad thing, but when I see you die to something that you 100% could have avoided, I'm gonna call it out. Good. I like that. Nice target priority. We're not focusing the tank right now. Okay, need to be a little bit careful there. Careful. Okay, good. Good shot. 100%. I'm going to point this out too. We're probably going to win this game anyway, so it don't matter. But I like your target priority, Daiti. You understand that to win most fights with Widow and to get the most value out of her, we kill the supports, right? So looking at from an aiming standpoint, I feel like your aim is really good. I actually feel like your aim is way higher than you think it is. And as long as you don't get pressured, it seems to me like you're getting a lot of value. Initially, there was an issue that I saw. When you started on Widow, I'm not going to grill you too much. There is something that I like to say, like, you need to warm up sometimes. But there's a little trick I want to give you, because a lot of the shots that happen early game, it felt like you were kind of stressing your shots a little bit. Chat, how many times are you lining up a shot with Widow, Sojourn, or any other character where the one shot really matters, and just before the shot lines up, you have a nice little headshot, you do this? How many of you motherfuckers do this? If this applies to you, chat, put a smiley face in the chat real quick. How many of you line up a shot that would have been a kill and you flick on the end and you go, So there is a little bit of a trick that we can utilize to our advantage, Deity. The way we do this, we're standing far away. We have a shot lined up. A lot of the time in the beginning of the game, you would do something like this, right? Or you would start your crosser like here, and you would flick above her because you're trying to hit the head. So you go for the micro flick. But the truth of the matter is, you're not going to hit it. If you're going for the flicks, you need to really practice to get your flicks in. But until then, I want you to do a certain technique that usually works, right? If an Ana is in front of you and she's hard scoping, she's moving left and right, sort of like this, right? And she becomes slightly more annoying to hit. What I want you to do instead is I want you to stop moving, hard scope in, and then use her positioning to your advantage. So we put our crosser around the chest level area, and say she's moving left and right now. I can tell you for certain that if you move into her and do something like this instead, your brain is just going to comprehend what's going on a lot easier than if you're trying to aim at someone going left and right and you're moving left and right at the same time. I want you to try and integrate that into your gameplay instead. And then I want you to give me another VOD replay, maybe a couple of days from now on, where you integrate some of the things and tips and tricks that I gave you, and we'll take a look at it. Maybe you can even provide me with a VOD where you lose, or we can see how you work under pressure. And that pretty much wraps that video up. Some closing words. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I appreciate y'all. If you guys want to find out more about me and you can't get enough of me, you can watch me at twitch.tv/iddqd. We stream every single day at 11 p.m. PST. Thank you so much.